What's happening, Doc? How the heck are you? Man, that water's good tonight. Good and cold. Some of that German water. What's going on? It's Friday night. Oh, I guess it's Saturday, isn't it? Huh. Lost track of time. I wait for a couple of more people to get on here. My goodness. You think so? No, she's not going to let you in there. No. Oh, goodness. I'm fantastic for the most part. How about you? Just living life. Trying to, anyway. Yeah, to say the least, but as Newsmax was calling it, the 45 was there, which that's pretty awesome. At least he went. What's up, Mr. Cortez? And then that means, Doc, you're real close to it then. But yeah, it is a rough day. It's a rough day for us too. This day is also the same as when we lost my mother-in-law. Oh, was he? Yeah, but I bet the 45 was there first. Double gut punch. Yeah, really. Man, I'm going to tell you, this mess that we're in just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And you know, I kind of laughed when I heard about his speech. I didn't actually watch it. About the jabs and your career and stuff like that. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I don't know. You just get so frustrated trying to watch any of it anymore, but you have to pay attention to it because I mean it affects everybody. But Lord only knows. I mean, he's probably got really deep pockets in it. He's not the one leading our country, I can tell you that. It's all the billionaire tycoons that got more money than they know what to do with and want world domination. Kind of reminds you if you ever watched the Bugs Bunny cartoons growing up, when the little aliens walking around talking about the new and improved space modulator, where they can rule the world, and it's just something straight out of a comic, Hey, world domination. Money is the root of all evil, and there's a lot of it flying around right now up, in our government. People are getting bought. Yeah. I'm not in disagreement. But hey, what's happening? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, the wife and I joked around a couple of times. If it gets bad to worse, we can always pack up the fifth wheel and go find some land up in the mountains and just become hermits. Yeah, I pray every day. I'm going to tell you, in the past couple of years, I've done a lot of praying. Just trying to figure out, it's not for me to decide. It's not in our hands, and a lot of people don't understand that it's not in our hands. We don't have control over it. I believe that something really nasty is coming for those people that we've got supposedly trying to run the country. And it's probably not going to be pretty. All I know is I don't think that we're going to make it 4 years with our current administration. That's very true. Very true. I've been blessed to be where I am today, and I have him to thank for it. So, anyway, the title of the live stream. This has been going on for probably. It's been going on for at least the last 6 months, but here in the past month, and in fact the past couple of weeks, it's kind of really set me straight to what I'm going to do. And I am planning on probably going to plan on quitting turning wrenches for a dealership, or actually for anybody other than myself and projects I have here at the house. Maybe do some side work, but I'm done with doing it for the dealership. I mean, it's getting so bad working on these cars anymore. You don't have a lot of support with them. The times keep getting cut, which the flat rate hour to work on these cars anymore is just, it's ridiculous. They keep cutting times even closer where you can't make any money. You really can't, especially not being a transmission tech. To do it right, don't get me wrong. I love what I do. I just don't like what I'm getting paid to do it. And I've got a great company that I'm working for, and the people that I work with are few and far between. And it's hard to give up something like that. But it's just getting to the point where, like right now, I've got a, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't happening because of the government. I don't know, but it. I mean, again, yeah, probably because I mean the government is causing the shortages all over the place. There's and it's happening at our grocery stores, y'all. Um, Getting produce out and stuff like that, and quality stuff. Uh, it's getting slim. You know, I was in Walmart yesterday, and there were spots in that store where the shelves were barren again, and just stupid stuff. You know, like one of them. I happen to like bread and butter pickles, and you know, I got the last 2 jars, and that usually is not a problem to get them. But there's certain things that are just they're out of that on a regular basis they seems like it's out of. Um, Doc, I would say the same on our own power, but in the same instance, if you're going to go with something like solar, which is it is a good viable option, but you need to have some way to back it up. You can't totally rely on solar. You got to have some sort of power. Um, I've been actually looking for a generator, not just one you can buy at the store. Um, I've got a generator here, but you're limited on what you can run on it. I can run, you know, normal lights and TVs and the refrigerators and stuff and the air conditioner, but I sure as heck can't run the water heater because it won't do it. Um, the hydropower is not an option for me um, because I'm nowhere close to water. Yeah, ice. That is a common consensus with everybody at my work. Um, you know, we've all said the same thing. You know, and I've told the wife says if they mandate the jab in the arm to keep working, I'm done. Um, it's just it's going too far. And there's what's nice to see is there's a couple of people that are actually standing up for it. Like the dude in Phoenix, the sheriff in Phoenix, Arizona, that stood up, and his video went viral, which I'm surprised they haven't taken it down. Yeah, we are, but anyway, back to my story. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, um, but I know just turning wrenches for a living at a flat rate shop is not for me anymore. Um, I'm getting to the point where my body's telling me that it's time that I need to do something else. Um, I love cars. I love working on them. I need something that's better sustainable income for our family. Because this living paycheck to paycheck crap is for the birds. But and YouTube definitely doesn't pay the bills. That's for dang sure. Um, work in DC, dude. I would not want to work in DC. That's for sure. Well, me neither. Well, except for just a very few occasions, but you know, for the most part, I haven't since day one that this whole thing's been going on. Um, you know, the city government down here in the county that we've got is just, they're power hungry just as much as everything else. And they've been doing these mandates 7 days at a time, and they can do it up to 7 times for a total of 42 days. And they're going to run it until the end. They're going to force it as much as they can. And it's kind of funny because you look around, you go to these businesses, and Walmart's a big contributor. They put their signs up all over there. They're required for entry and blah, blah, blah. And you just walk in there. Buster. Anyway, yeah, you just walk in there and there's tons of people without them. There's tons of people with them, but as much as they want to try to force it, they don't say a word to you because they know they don't want to get in a conflict. I was asked about my status today in Aldi. I responded with, when was the last time you had your cervix scraped? Oh, wow. That's pretty brutal. That's funny, but a little brutal. Oh, goodness. Yeah, there's anyway, like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Hopefully being as my age, that doesn't hinder me from landing something decent. I can't do the YouTube thing full time. I just can't, because I'm not one of those guys that got 2 million subscribers, can live off the revenue and that kind of stuff. It just won't work for me. So, I'm just a small time Joe that likes to teach things, and I've been a little slack on that lately. I've had a little bit much going on. I appreciate that, Doc. I had a shop up north, and every once in a while when I get to go up there and I talk to people, there's a lot of people that comment, wish you'd never left. But I had to do it for some health reasons. It was really taking a toll on me. I don't consider it a loss. I consider it a learning experience. And yeah, and that's kind of, Doc, that was kind of funny you say that, because I was thinking, if the 5-year plan, and this is just a 5-year plan for me. In 5 years, I'd like to be totally retired. I don't know that that's going to be possible, but we've still got Rosario, other horse, and I can't let him go. He's we may be here, another 10, 15 years. I mean, just depends, but I'm not going to give Rosario up to somebody I don't know. I would just be worried about him, taking a downhill turn to do that. And he's like one of the kids. He's just ornery as crap. So, but, I've got that enclosed, trailer out back. I figured, once we get done with the garage sale stuff, that's another thing. I'm trying to sell a bunch of stuff on the garage sale, and we're trying to thin the house out. So hopefully we'll do good this weekend, next weekend coming up. They got a citywide one going on. But anyway, thought about putting some cabinets in it, and eventually found in like a Class C, something I can tow it with, besides my truck, obviously. And I just put tour places and have a little shop inside the trailer, just a little one to do side stuff with, as I travel, do some electrical repairs and that kind of thing, stuff that doesn't, kind of like a road mechanic, but it'd be kind of limited because I'm not crawling around underneath the car anymore. I'm getting too old for that. I'm definitely too big for it anymore. But I can do stuff on top of that. I can do anything on a car. With a lift, that's another story, but I thought that'd be kind of cool. Be something I can, have the trailer, and, we've got the Honda, it's all wheel drive. So it's got to be flat towed, or not flat towed. It has to be trailered. So, put the Honda in there and load up the motorcycle and have my tools and have my house on wheels. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a lot of fun. I'd really like to be able to go do some, believe it or not, I want to go see a lot of the country before I can't. Before I get to the point where I can't move. Of course, things can change, just, it all depends. Just have to take it a day at a time. Whatever the good Lord wants me to do, that's what's going to happen. But again, I gotta think about my family and income and make sure that I've got enough to support us. So that's where that's at. Haven't told my boss yet, so he's been out of town. It probably won't be a good conversation. Well, I mean, it will. I mean, he's a super nice guy. If something comes up with family, he understands. That's what I'm saying. You can't hardly find a boss that's like that anymore. They just want you to work to death and make them money. Nice. Yeah, the new Dirty Max truck has got a 10-speed in it. Also, supposedly it's an Allison, but it's not. I'm going to tell you, it's not an Allison. I don't know how they got their name on it, but it's not built anything like an Allison. It's heavier than all get out. They call it a 10L1000, which is based on a 10L90, basically, which is the 10-speed they put in like the Cadillacs and the Camaros and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know when exactly yet, but it's going to happen. I've pretty much got to the point where I can't get into it anymore. Yeah, it's probably the same transmission, Doc, to be honest with you. I mean, they shared a lot of the stuff on the 10L90 and the 8L90 is what GM calls it. I know they probably called an 8R100 or something like that on Fords because they had Henry Cuss. Yeah, I mean, it was, the 6-speed, the front wheel drive 6-speed, when they first come out with those That was a joint venture between Ford, GM, and man, I want to say it was Volvo. When they first come out with those, and we went to class on the 6 speeds, the valve bodies were actually 3 different pieces manufactured by all 3 companies, and yeah, it was crazy. That was a joint venture on those, and in fact, that transaxle is pretty similar between the 2 vehicles. But one thing that Ford has over GM is they spend a lot more time on their R&D on getting the programming right to make the transmission work, pretty flawlessly for quite some time. Yeah, right? But yeah, I yeah, they are like butter. In fact, I just worked on a Cadillac Escalade yesterday, and it had a 10L90 in it, and they're smooth as butter. You can't hardly feel them shift either, and it keeps that RPM right around 2,000 RPM when it shifts. Unless, of course, you get on it. But if you're in just normal acceleration, every couple of seconds it's making a shift. If that, I mean, it's pretty quick. It's like in 7th or 8th gear by the time you're 40 mile an hour. It's crazy. I've only had to work on one of them so far, and that was in a 2018 Tahoe. It was an option in the Tahoes. Yeah, that sounds about right. What's crazy is the fact that they've got them set up that way because, the 6.7 doesn't make as much low end torque as, say, a 6.7 Cummins. 6.7 Cummins, the peak torque on that's like 11 or 1,200 RPM. Yeah, Doc, I mean, they'll get decent mileage when they're unloaded. Once he gets a load on the back of it, that'll probably drop around probably 11 to 14, somewhere in there would be my guess. Depends on how loaded he's got it. I've got an old gas big block in my truck, and it's got an Allison 5-speed, and that thing, if you're in just drive, it'll run about $3,000. Runs about 2,200 at 75 and 5th. But it's also got 410s in it. But they've got the technology so good on a lot of these new trucks that they can just change between changing the injector timing and the way the turbo works. They can get a lot of torque out of them. Nice. So what'd you end up figuring out on that then? There he is. There's the man of the plan. What's up, Mr. Luther? 4 very lazy injectors. Well, I could see that, especially with some miles on them. And the ethanol fuel, they're probably a little sticky. I had, as a matter of fact, speaking of lazy injectors, I had a guy with a, it was a 2004, I think it was, Silverado. Take care, Jerry. Have a good night, buddy. He had a 2004 Silverado, 4.3 liter, 5-speed manual. And he said that when he would drive the thing, it would feel like it was cutting out, but it never would set any misfires. But anyway, what I ended up told him is, if it's got the old style spider setup in it, they had a terrible problem with the poppet valve sticking on those spider assembly. And anyway, I convinced him to put a new style of spider assembly in it, which moved the injector down to the port instead of having the poppet injector on it. And they moved the electronic injector down to the bottom. And he said that completely solved his problem. So that was great. Ethanol fuel is corrosive. So if it's not something that gets the cobwebs blown out of it once in a while, or they just get old and gummy, they tend to corrode the panels and everything else and just do all sorts of nasty damage. That's why a lot of these racer guys, if they got a race car that they're going to leave sit for a while and it had E85 in it, if they don't clear those injectors out and run regular non-ethanol fuel in them before they let the thing sit, they'll end up having to replace the injectors because it'll just eat them up. A flathead and a 5-speed manual. Yeah, I don't know how many flatheads still around. I'm sure there is, but there's not like something they daily drive anymore. There's something to be said about the carburetors, except carburetors don't like that ethanol fuel either, especially just not in a 10% mix. They really don't like it. And motorcycles definitely don't like it if they weren't originally set up for it. Before the current bike I have now, I had a Yamaha Virago 1100 that was mother-in-law's bike, and I inherited it we inherited it when she passed, and she let that thing sit a lot, and then she'd just run the ethanol fuel in there all the time. Well, it pretty much plugged up the jets in the carburetor and carburetors and everything else, and it was tough to get the thing to run right. I finally pulled the carburetors off and went through both of them, and I couldn't believe all the crap and the corrosion and stuff that were in these dudes. But I got it all cleaned out, and excuse me. And after I did that, it ran like a top till we sold it, and then I bought the new bike. Wow, 20%? Yeah, it's 10% everywhere that I've been. A lot of cars won't run on 20%, especially the older stuff. And that donor Camaro that I've been working on, I'm sure it was the same reason. That's why I just ended up buying another set of injectors. In fact, I think there was only one of them that actually worked. Oh yeah. Well, I think everybody's out for that right now. It just seems like I said, it has to do with the money thing. It's the root of all evil, and I believe that to the very end. They think it buys happiness, but all it does is creates problems. We went out into the city has got a legacy at the park, or Legacy Park is the name of it, but they have entertainments there every once in a while, and they had some couple bands playing there tonight. We went and watched the first one, but the second one took forever to get on stage. We just finally said, let's just go. So we came on home. But the first one was called Groove Therapy, and these guys were good. Oh man, it was great. Great music. Um, yeah, it was pretty awesome. Nice to hear. Can't quit yawning. Anyway, well, unless you all have something else, I don't know a whole lot tonight. Oh, Steven went out to water pumpkins. Oh, for your transmission? Yeah, it's not a tough one on a 4L80. It's pretty simple. I still got that cab deal that I'm trying to work out. I need to go look at a cab for my pickup. But even then, I don't have any money to do the bartering deal. As since we had to go up north for my aunt's funeral, it just recovering from that's kind of tough. So things are just a wee bit tight. But goodness. That Lucas stuff is some pretty good stuff. I give it that. I mean, it works pretty good. I've used it in our Ford, our Escape for the power steering. The power steering has leaked for better part of 6 years or so. I know where it's leaking. It's leaking at the rack. I didn't see any point in doing it. Oh yeah, I know I'm getting old. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you this thing. It's been I don't know. It's not been real bad. Like I said, I put the Lucas in it, and it every once in a while you have to add a little fluid, and I'm sure it's leaking, past the seals at either end, into the boot. I haven't pulled the boot loose lately, but I'm sure that's where it's going. It is the original, and it does have 286,000 miles on it or something like that. Pretty much everything on that dude is original. Like I said, we had just got back. We drove it up to Missouri and back. Oh, I see that. I say that everything's original, but the power steering pump is not. When I did the front cover reseal on that Escape, the power steering pump was leaking, so I did replace that while I had it off. So that one's not original, and it doesn't whine. So, but I know what you mean. I've got a Mercury Sable out there. The power steering pump whines on it. They're all notorious for that. It's a different style pump. But right now, the Sable doesn't even run. It needs a fuel pump. That's something I've been trying to sell, but it doesn't sell very good when it doesn't run. Yeah, every once in a while you get a good reman part, but at any rate, we drove old Bessie up to Missouri and back this last time, and when we were getting on the highway on the way back, something started making the god awful freaking howling noise. And it seemed like it was speed related. It was either a pinion bearing on the rear diff or the carrier bearing or one of the two, but it started making some noise, and I just did spray, and I says, Lord, just let us get home. And we made it the rest of the way home, but wife and I decided that was the last long trip that Bessie's going to make. She's just getting so many miles on her, and I'm afraid she'll break down, and it's good for around here and, short trips, but I don't think we need to be making another 2,200 mile plus trip in it again. But she actually absolutely owes us nothing. That thing has been fantastic. So good. Every once in a while you get one of them good ones like that. I think we got a guardian angel riding shotgun with it. That's all I can say. Anyway. So I got some things I got to do tomorrow. I'll try to get some more stuff loaded in the trailer for... Oh, yeah, she's had regular oil changes. I'm religious on oil changes, for sure. Oil changes and maintenance and that kind of stuff, religious on. That's probably why she's lasted as long as she has. But, I gotta get some more stuff set up because I'm kind of using the enclosed trailer as another garage, so to speak, because we got the garage full of stuff right now too. And trying to get everything sold, what we can. I still got a bunch of my computers and stuff that I had from the shop and stuff I've built and leftover parts. And when I used to experiment with computers or having something to build to do test closes on it. And it's just time to sell a lot of the stuff, and I'm trying to still get some money saved up so I can get my new editing computer done. But like I said, finances are a little tight, so it's been kind of put on the back burner. But I've been trying to get some videos lined up for y'all, but it's been kind of hectic here lately. A lot of stuff going on. If I get a chance, I may try to get some done tomorrow, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll just have to see. Weather's starting to cool off down here a little bit, though. We're starting to get some breeze in it. Oh, man, it was nice tonight outside. Holy cow, it was nice. Last Saturday was absolutely beautiful. Bright and sunny, low humidity. It was a great day for a garage sale. We had a great turnout both Saturday, and we did some on Sunday too. And we're only open 8 to 2, but there was quite a few people that came in. It was pretty nice. I don't think they'll see a collapse. It's just, unfortunately, the people need to realize they need to get their butts back to work. I never quit working the whole time that this whole thing was going on. Yeah, I probably could have and collected unemployment and all that good stuff, but now see, I don't think that's right. I don't think the hold on the evictions is right. Granted, I understand, but these people need to get back to work so they can pay their rent, they can pay their house payment, so they can, the people that own the houses, they have to. That's how they make their money too. And if they're not getting any income from renters, what are they going to do? Yeah, and unfortunately, that seems to be happening overseas too. And the Aussies are having the same issue. I was reading an article the other day in the news. They were talking about the tyrants over in Australia and how they're mistreating people that have done their forced quarantine, and they're not releasing them. Kind of reminds you of the song Hotel California. You can check in any time you want, but you can never leave. That's kind of what's, yeah. Yeah, it's happening all over. It's all over the country, It's just terrible. Like I said, I mean, you hit it on the butt. You hit it on the, at least it was you or somebody hit it on the nose either. I mean, there's a lot of people that need to find God, and they need to understand that, that's what the country was founded on. One nation under God, for liberty and justice for all. I don't even think I can remember the whole thing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and for which it stands, so and so, one nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Something like that. It's been so long since I said the Pledge of Allegiance. Holy cow. But we proudly fly the flag here. That's all I can say. That's for sure. And not fake wise either. And Stephen, yeah, you'd missed it earlier, but I'll let you in on it. I have decided that, it's time for me to get out of turning wrenches for a living anyway. Here's fine. at the house, I'm good with it. But dealership wise, I think I'm done. I can't get into it anymore. I got no desire to work on a lot of this new stuff. I mean, not that I can't. It's just frustrated with getting paid for it. And the dealership politics, and I'm not doing him or me either. No, hell no, I can't retire yet. I wish that was the case. That's my 5-year plan. By the time I'm 55, I'd like to retire. That's the same age my dad retired. But things are different, and I don't know that I'll ever be able to do that. So, but my body's telling me it's about time to get out of it too. Find something that's not so strenuous. My shoulder, this shoulder up here, it comes from being stupid and picking these transmissions and transfer cases up by hand, without using a jack because I just don't want to waste the time and go find it, Oh, goodness. You do the same, Doc. You have a good night. Get some sleep. It may not be too much later for old Smitty either. So I appreciate you coming on and listening to me ramble. But yeah, have a good night, dude. And we'll talk to you soon. But no, Steven, it's been a decision that's not coming easy. I mean, it's just well, I don't know yet. And I mean, it's not something that's probably going to happen real quick. Because like I was explaining earlier, I've got to have some way to support the family. So I'll probably still be working. I just don't think I'll be turning wrenches anymore. I really don't want to be a service writer because I don't feel like being a punching bag. I did that at Toyota for a while, wrote service for them when I first got down here, and I liked the people. I just couldn't handle being a punching bag. So yeah, I would do good as parts if I could figure out some way to make some money at it. There's a lot of parts manager jobs that are available, but I'd kind of like to find something that I can do remote, work out of the house, whether it be on the computer, because I've got a really good internet connection here. So, I mean, it's good as far as that's concerned. I do have an IT background on top of what I do automotive, but I actually went back to college for network administrator. And I passed everything there. I just never went and got the test because it was really expensive. Whether or not I could pass it now, maybe another story. Because I haven't used it on a regular basis. You kind of tend to forget things that you don't do on a regular basis. Although, once you start doing it again, it'll start coming back to you. But yeah. So that's the plan anyway. I haven't told my boss yet, and I'm going to, I don't know if he's going to be back tomorrow or not. I'm going to try to talk to him if he is. Maybe there's another position within the company that I can do. But I'm thinking it's time. My body's telling me, and I think it's time that I need to hang up doing wrenches for a living. Just doing all my own stuff where I don't have to worry about a flat rate time or anything like that. Have regular income. And there's plenty of stuff around here. Like I said, there's plenty of places out here that are hiring because nobody else wants to work. So a lot of them are paying pretty decent to get in. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Am I nervous? No, not really. Because I know something will come up. I know it's the right time for me. My dad always told me, and I should have listened to him years ago. And you always say the same thing. You should have listened to your folks and listened to what they were telling you. And you think, oh, they don't know anything. And you get older in life and you realize, you know what? They were on to something. And so we will about to make a hot dog. I had a salad for dinner. I have been trying to get my blood sugar down and doing a very good job of it, as I might add. Toot, toot, toot. Yeah, I don't usually toot my own horn, but I think it's a combination of the medicine and some of the things I've just cut out of my diet, and it just seems to be working. So yeah, I've been pretty happy with it. I sent my doc my first month since he put me on this medication. He was tickled to death. So I got to go back in November to do another A1C and see where I'm at. If I can get that A1C down there, maybe he can get me off of some of this stuff, because one of the medications is supposed to be hard on the kidneys. So I think I have. There is see, you're in California. I doubt there's Quick Trips out there. You probably got something like Wawa's or some big gas station, or maybe a Buc-ee's out there. I don't know if you got Buc-ee's that far out, but Quick Trip, which they're all over the Kansas City area, they have got on their rollers, they've got an all beef hot dog that are fantastic. Wiener Schnitzel. They're and sometimes if the corn dogs aren't like dead from being on the rollers too long, if they're somewhat fresh, their corn dogs are pretty dang good too. I love corn dogs. They're probably got to be the worst thing for you as far as nutrition wise, but holy cow, they taste good. I like a good brat with relish on it, sweet relish and mustard. Boy, you can't really tear that. You can tear a couple of them up. And then they tear you up the next day. But no, me and Kraut don't get along. I know people that like Kraut. If I get a Reuben, I tell them to leave the Kraut off of it. Well, they say, well, that's not a Reuben. I said, sure it is. It just doesn't have the Kraut on it. My mom growing up, she used to buy the pumpernickel bread, which is brown. I mean, I don't know if it's brown. It's closer to black. It's almost black, but the bread is brown. She used to buy that in Swiss and corned beef, I think it was. And holy cow, put some mustard, some Dijon mustard on that, just a little bit of mayo, some Swiss and corned beef. Oh my God! No, excuse me, not corned beef, pastrami. On that pumpernickel bread. Oh boy, man, that's a good sandwich. Good sandwich. But anyhow, oh, it was great. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So I actually like chili and onions on my dog. To be honest with you, I got to be careful with the onion though. Red onions will really tear me up. I can tolerate white or sweet yellow onion. Red onion, leave me out. I'll be paying for that for the next couple of hours with heartburn. But yeah, I love chili dogs. Every once in a while, I'll get a wild hair at my butt and I need to make some chili. As a matter of fact, when I lived up north and it got cold, I used to make chili by the big stock pot full. It'd have 10 pounds of ground beef in it, some sirloin steak, um, dark red and light red kidney beans, onion, tomato, salt, pepper, chili powder. Hey man, it's a cheap decent meal. I mean, you can't hardly beat it. I used to take those dogs and I'd split them down the middle and I'd put strips of cheese in the middle of them. And then just you could take a damp paper towel and wrap them up there, and you can throw them in a microwave for a couple of seconds and heat them up that way, and they'd get real big, and the cheese would all be all melty and everything. It was really good stuff. I try to avoid the American cheese though, just because it's processed. Yeah, for sure. Mustard and cheese. Mustard's one of my favorite condiments. Different flavors of mustard. I like brown mustard. I like Dijon mustard. Like yellow mustard. Um, and mustard's one of them things that's made from a seed, so it doesn't have to be refrigerated. Um, it's not one of those things that'll spoil. It's really good. Now, ketchup, on the other hand, is a different story. It will spoil. And you got to be careful about ketchup too, because a lot of times they like to put a lot of high fructose corn syrup in it. And your body doesn't really like that stuff. It does better with a cane sugar than it does that high fructose corn syrup. Anyway, lately I've been in this bacon mood. I've been making, no, I'd agree to that 100%. Cannot put, can't put, see if I can find some of those emojis. There it is, right there. There you go, 100%. I can definitely agree with that. Can't put ketchup on a hot dog. My wife does, but I can't put ketchup on a hot dog. To me, it just ruins it. Yeah, I have to find it. I don't do the emoji thing much, but they get all like pages and pages of them, don't they? Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of our foods are made with that stuff. Um, my wife kind of cracks up as I started looking at a lot of the labels, and if it's got it in it, I avoid it. Every once in a while, I like to have a Sprite, and that's like got nothing good in it. My body does not like artificial sweetener of any type. It really screws me up, especially aspartame. It screws with my knees. I know that's weird, but it does. But I do try to find stuff that's got natural ingredients in it and the least amount. It really causes you to look at what you're eating, and saves you from a lot of it. Well, except for the Coca-Cola. I'm not a big Coca-Cola fan. You need a massage? What? What the hell is a poopsie? Never heard of that. What the hell is a poopsie? Are you talking like a popsicle, maybe? Oh, Pepsi. No, I'm not a big Pepsi fan either. I like the soda I used to drink a lot of was Barks root beer. That was had to have been my favorite. Like Dr. Pepper, Sprite. Occasionally I'll drink a Mountain Spew, but like I said, I haven't touched that stuff for a long time, except for Sprite. I had to get away from it because I would drink it like it was going out of style. Yeah, that's pretty much the way I am anymore. That's what this is. Just ice water. And it's empty. The wife was investigating. She's giving me the look. Oh, I love orange juice. It's just not good for a diabetic. Definitely not good for a diabetic. You want to raise your blood sugar in a hurry, just do that. Oh, yeah, it's good for vitamin C, but I take a vitamin C supplement in the morning. every morning religiously. Vitamin C and vitamin D. And I get the rest of it from whatever I eat. So anyway, someone just went by with their radio hooked a megaphone at the front of it. You can hear them going by with whatever they were playing. That's something I never understood. Just like the trucks dragging their butts around. Reminds you of a dog dragging their ass across the carpet. Oh, excuse me. Anywho. Well, y'all, I'm going to call it a night for tonight. Mama needs a little attention. So I am going to go take care of that. And get ready for tomorrow's activities. But yeah, hang with me a little longer. There'll be some videos coming. I've got some in the works. Like I said, I haven't had time to finish them and everything else going on. So there'll be something coming up here for too long. Yep. For too long, there'll be one out, Stephen. Just hang with me. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. God bless you and God bless America. Bye-bye, y'all.